Hello there everybody, this is Mafingie here, and welcome to another Redstone tutorial. This is customised beacons. This has been done many times before, but I thought I would just go over it for the sake of going over it. So this particular design is simply a beacon that you can customise, that you can activate with buttons, instead of actually having to go up to the beacon and putting a gem in or an ingot to activate it. And in the same token, it costs nothing to run. So let's start with a bit of jump boost 1, and in a few seconds we will end up with jump boost. Boing, 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 boing. And I think I'm going to add regeneration as the secondary effect to that beacon. Secondary effects on the top, primary effects on the bottom. Unfortunately, you can't mix secondary and primary. Actually, you may be able to mix secondary and primary effects, so let's clear this, no effect, and we have to just wait for this. I should have actually, every time you press the button it clears the effects from you. I should have done that, but I'm happy with this. So let's try speed 1, and in a second we'll have speed 1. There we go, speed 1, and let's see if we can add some strength 2 to that. There we go. No, it doesn't work. So you can only have one secondary effect, obviously. So if you had... basically I can just pick the effects I want. I think I'm going to go mining, so let's have a bit of haste 2. And when the strength wears off, we will be able to dig super fast. There we go. So all it is I've got a full powered beacon over here. And what I do is I simply set the block data. It's a block data again, I love block data. Of this beacon, which is what those coordinates are, and there are two tags that can set the effects for beacons: primary and secondary. So primary sets the first effect, which is on this side of the screen here, and I have 5 default effects to pick from: speed, which is ID 1, haste ID 3, resistance ID, oh no, I think that's jump boost. No, yeah, it is resistance. Jump boost is resistance is ID 11, jump boost is 8, 5 is strength, and no effect is 0. I've set both the primary and the secondary to 0. And the secondary is exactly the same thing, except I set both primary and secondary to 1. As I said, very simple, but this is not the limits of it, because if we go over here, custom beacons we can do. This is how you would do custom health without plugins. I am setting the primary of this beacon to 22, and 22 is not an effect that you can normally get on beacons. If I go game mode 0, it is absorption, and now if you have a look on my health bar, I have extra hearts. So this is a way for map makers to make zones where you get buffs. So maybe put one of these in your base, so when you get within sight of your base, you get extra health, regeneration, even invincibility or invisibility, or anything really. So this is how you would do a custom health for a PvP map without plugins, because you can set either absorption or health boost itself. Game mode 1, without having to use plugins or mods. On the same token, let me just set this to 0. On the same token, you can do... Oops, I've messed that up somewhat. On the same token, you can do negative effects, so you could have possibly high-risk areas that you enter. That you could also use them to contain players, so if you had a line of beacons along there and a line of beacons along there, each giving you instant damage too, which would not be very nice. The player would have to stay in the middle or risk death. Or it could even kill the players. So let's see what this does. And I should now be getting some evil effect. There we go, blindness. So this is a way to do a zone of blindness, maybe for a maze-like dungeon where you want players to get lost. You could give them blindness. And this one is weakness. Maybe if you went into an enemy base, you would have command blocks giving clearing the effects from the team whose base it is, but you'd have this beacon giving weakness to the enemies. So let's do this, and my blindness should start wearing off. Come on, blindness. 2, 1, and I should get weakness. Where's my weakness? Oh, that doesn't need to be there. Weakness. Weakness, please. Give me weakness. Thank you, I'm now weak. I'm so happy. And lots of dead squid over there, which I'll explain in a later video. And maybe if you had an underwater dungeon, you could have beacons giving night vision and water breathing, which would be very, very helpful. So right now I have water breathing. Yeah, so it's a very, very useful thing for map makers to be able to change beacons. Now there is one other tag that you can add to a beacon, and that is level. And the level tag tells the beacon how many levels of blocks there are available to it. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to get that to work. I don't know why. Maybe because random updates were triggering and the beacon found out that it didn't actually have 4 layers of blocks below it. If that did work, we could have a single beacon shooting a beam without having to have the blocks beneath it, or even a single beacon giving tier 2 effects. And also over here I have something. Actually no, I'll go over that in a separate video. So thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you again soon.